Hello students, in this PPT I will explain the architecture of 8085. The 8085 microprocessor was introduced on March 1976. It is a 8-bit microprocessor with a clock frequency of 3 MHz. It's made up of 6500 transistors and 64 kilobyte addressable memory. So this microprocessor is 8-bit general purpose microprocessor that can address 64 kilobyte of memory. It has 40 pins and uses 5 volts for power supply. The 8085A version is an 8-bit general-purpose microprocessor which is capable of addressing 64 kilobytes of memory and has 40 pins, requires 5 volt single power supply and can operate at 3 MHz single phase clock. But 8085A second version can operate at a maximum frequency of 5 MHz. There are 6 signals in 8085 microprocessor. They are the address bus, data bus, control and status signal, power supply and frequency signal, externally initiated signals and serial I/O ports. This diagram displays all the different types of signals present in 8085 microprocessor. The diagram represents 8085 microprocessor with 40 pins. The address bus has 8 signal lines from A8 to A15 which are unidirectional, and it's also used as a high order address bus. The signal lines A15 to A8 in the address bus are high order and unidirectional. The low order address bus is multiplexed with a database to generate 87 to 80 signals which are bidirectional, and these signals 87 to 80 are used as low order address bus as well as data bus. But the buses need to be demultiplexed. So when it's demultiplexed, during execution of an instruction, this 87 to 80 lines will be used as low order address bus during the first part of the cycle, and 87 to 80 lines will be used as data bus during the later part of the cycle. There are two control signals, RD and WR, which is for read and write. The bar on this RD and W bar indicates that the signals are low. 3 status signals, IO bar M, which is for input, output and memory, and S1, S0 to identify the nature of the operation. One special signal, address latch enable, to indicate the beginning of the operation. There are 3 status signals, IO/M, S1, S2 to indicate the machine cycle. When IO/M equals 1, it indicates that the address on address bus is for IO devices. When IO/M equals 0, it indicates that the address on the address bus is for memory. When control signal WR equals 0, that is when it's active low, it indicates that the data on the data bus are to be returned into selected memory or output devices. When control signal RD is active low, that is when it's equal to 0, it indicates that the data from selected memory or input devices are to be read into data bus. When status signal is 0, 1, 1, it indicates opcode fetch from memory, and RD signal becomes low to activate the memory. When status signal is 0, 1, 0, the machine cycle becomes memory read, and the control signal RD becomes low to indicate or to activate the memory to read the data. When status signal is 0, 0, 1, the machine cycle is memory write, and the control signal WR becomes active low to activate the memory for writing. When status signal is 1, 1, 0, the machine cycle becomes input output read, and RD signal becomes active low to read the data from the input devices. When the status signal is 1, 0, 1, the machine cycle becomes input output write, and WR signal becomes active to write the data into some output devices. When the status signal has the value 1, 1, 1, the machine cycle is interrupt acknowledged. That is, the microprocessor is going to acknowledge the interrupt which has occurred internally. Then Z indicates that it's high impedance, that is, the microprocessor will not be connected to any of the power supply. X indicates that it's unspecified. Address latch enable is a positive pulse which is generated when the microprocessor begins an operation. It also indicates that the bits on 87 to 80 are address buses, and this signal ALE is used to latch the low order address from the multiplexed bus. And it's going to generate a separate set of 8 address lines A7 to A0. That is, it's going to separate the data bus from the address bus and it's going to generate A7 to A0 the address lines. RD is read control signal which is active low. This signal indicates that the selected IO or memory devices is to be read and the data is available on the data bus. WR is write control signal which is active low, and this signal indicates that the data on the data bus are to be written into a selected memory or IO location. IO/M is a status signal to differentiate between IO and memory operation. When the signal is high, it indicates an IO operation, and when the signal is low, it indicates a memory operation. S1, S0 are the status signals to identify the various operations. VCC is voltage common collector and the power supply uses +5 voltage. VSS is the source selector and it's connected to ground. A crystal is connected at the pins X1, X2. Since frequency is internally divided by 2, the crystal should have a frequency of 6 MHz to operate a system at 3 MHz. CLK is a clock output and the signal is used as a system clock for other devices. Externally initiated signals are the signals initiated by an external device to request a microprocessor to do a particular task or work. There are 5 interrupt signals which is used to interrupt the program execution. The first one is INTR, which is also called as interrupt request, which is used as a general purpose interrupt. Second one is INTA, it's for output, it's interrupt acknowledge, which is used to acknowledge an interrupt. The next one is RST 7.5, 6.5, 5.5. They are all restart interrupts. They work as an vectored interrupts. They transfer the program control to specific memory location and they are having higher priorities than the INTR interrupt. TRAP is an input interrupt signal and it's a non-maskable interrupt and has the highest priority. Hold is again input interrupt signal. This signal indicates that a peripheral such as a DMA controller is requesting the use of the address and the data bus. HLDA is an output interrupt signal. It's also called as hold acknowledge. It acknowledges the hold request. Ready input signal delays the microprocessor read or write cycle and the microprocessor waits until a slow responding peripheral is ready to send or accept the data. When the signal goes low, that is when ready input signal is low, the microprocessor waits for an integral number of clock cycles until it goes high. The next signal is reset in. That is when the signal is low on this pin, the program counter is set to 0, the buses are in tri-state and the microprocessor is reset. Tri-state means a very small current flows in the microprocessor. Reset out signal indicates that the microprocessor is being reset and it's also used to reset other devices. The two signals to implement serial transmissions are SID, which is serial input data, and the second one is SOD, which is serial output data. When the low order address bus is multiplexed with the data bus, the signal lines generated are AD7 to AD0, which are bidirectional. These signals are used as lower order address bus as well as even higher order data bus. When the instruction is being executed, these lines are used as low order bus during the first part of the cycle and during the later part of the cycle these lines are used as data bus. A positive pulse is generated when 8085 begins an operation. This positive pulse indicates that the bits on AD7 to AD0 are address bus. The signal is used to latch the low order address from the multiplexed bus and a separate set of 8 address lines A7 to AD0 are generated. AD7 to AD0 is connected as input to the latch. The ALE signal is connected to the enable pin of the latch and output control OC signal of the latch is grounded. The ALE signal is connected to enable pin of the latch. OC, the output control signal, is grounded and the address on the high order address bus remains for 3 clock period, but the address on low order address bus is lost after first clock period. So to retain this address for some more time, this address is latched for identifying the memory address. When ALE signal goes low, the data byte is latched until the next ALE. The address on high order address bus remains for 3 clock periods, but the low order address is lost after the first clock period. So to retain this address for a longer time, this address is to be latched to identify the memory address. That is, when the ALE signal is high, the output changes according to input data, but when the ALE signal goes low, the data byte is latched until the next ALE. To understand the different signals of 8085, it's necessary to know the process of communication between the microprocessor and memory, and even the timing of these signals in relation to the system clock. The communication is for reading from the memory or writing into memory. There are 5 different group of signals in relation to the system clock. That is the address bus and the data bus, which are 2 parallel lines, and when there is a crossover of lines, it indicates that a new byte is placed on the bus, and if it is a dashed straight line, indicates that it's high impedance state. During clock period T1, the microprocessor places a 16-bit memory address on the address bus, which was in program counter. The high order address bus is placed on the address lines A15 to A8, and the ALE signal is used to latch the address bus and places the low order address on the bus AD7 to AD0. The status signal input output memory goes low. S0 S1 equals 1 indicates that it's an opcode fetch operation. During clock period T2, the control unit sends the read control signal to enable the memory chip, and this read signal is active during 2 clock periods. During clock period T3, the microprocessor reads the opcode and stores it in instruction register for decoding. When the memory is enabled, the RD signal, that is read signal, causes the instruction byte to be placed on the bus AD7. During clock cycle T4, the byte which is placed in the instruction decoder is decoded and the corresponding task is carried out. The read control signal is used to read from memory device as well as from input device. The write control signal is used to write into memory device as well as into output device. Using the signals read, write and input output memory, 4 different control signals can be generated. For memory operation, the input output memory goes low. For IO devices, the input output memory goes high. The input output memory signal goes low for memory operation. This signal input output memory is ANDed with RD to generate memory read signal. The IOM signal is ANDed with write signal to generate memory write signal. Both the signals go low, that is input output memory read signal as well as write signal, they go low, and output of the gates also go low and generate memory write, memory read control signals. The signal IOM goes high for input output operation. This signal is complemented using the inverter, and it's ANDed with read and write signals to generate input output read and input output write control signals. 8085 microprocessor consists of ALU, timing and control unit, instruction register and decoder, register array, interrupt control, serial IO control. The ALU is used to perform computing function, and the components of ALU are accumulator, temporal register, arithmetic and logic circuits, the flags. Accumulator is a 8-bit register which is part of ALU. It's used to store 8-bit data and to perform arithmetic and logic operation, and the result of the operation is stored in the accumulator. The temporal register is used to hold the data during an arithmetic or logic operation. Arithmetic and logic circuits perform logical operations like AND, OR, XOR, NOT, and it also performs arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, increment and decrement. The next one in the ALU is the flag register. The flags are affected by arithmetic and logic operations in ALU. The flags, which is also called as flip-flops, are set or reset according to the result of the operation, and they also reflect the data conditions in the accumulator. And the different flags are sign flag, zero flag, auxiliary carry, parity and carry flag. The sign flag, in this, after executing an arithmetic or logic operation, if the bit D7 of the result is 1, the sign flag is set. It's also used with sign numbers, and if D7 is 1, it indicates that it's a negative number. If D7 is 0, means it's a positive number. The next one is zero flag. If ALU operation results in 0, the 0 flag is set, and if the result is not 0, the flag is reset, and it affects both accumulator and other registers. The next flag is the auxiliary carry, which is used internally for BCD operation. When a carry is generated by digit D3 and passed on to digit D4, the AC flag is set. Parity flag. After an arithmetic or logic operation, if the result has an even number of ones, the flag is set, and if it has odd number of ones, the flag is reset. The next one is the carry flag. If an arithmetic operation results in a carry, the carry flag is set, otherwise it's reset. This carry flag also serves as a borrow flag for subtraction. The most commonly used flags are 0 flag and carry flag. The timing and control unit synchronizes all the microprocessor operations with the clock and also generates the control signals which is necessary for communication between the microprocessor and the peripherals. When the microprocessor is turned on and input voltage stabilizes, the microprocessor enters a loop. As long as the power is on, the microprocessor will fetch the next instruction and execute that instruction. This process goes on until the power is switched off in the microprocessor. The two tasks of fetching the instruction and executing the instruction are continuously executed by the microprocessor until the power is switched off. And each of these operations is performed in time slot of fixed or varying length. The fetch operation is performed in a time slot of fixed length, but the execute operation may require time slot of variable length, and the length of this operation depends on the instruction to be executed. Instruction cycle time is the total time required to perform the two operations, that is fetch and execute once, that is to go around the loop once, is known as IC, and this IC is also again the sum of fetch operation and execute operation. Fetch operation is carried out in a time slot called as fetch cycle, and execute operation is also carried out in a time slot called execute cycle. During the fetch operation, the instruction byte which contains the operation code is brought into the microprocessor from the memory. The algorithm for the fetch operation is send the address of the next instruction to memory and receive the instruction from the memory. In the beginning of the fetch cycle, the contents of the program counter which keeps track of the address of the next instruction to be executed is sent to the memory, and the memory responds by reading the contents of the received address and transfers them to the microprocessor. In the fetch cycle, one clock cycle is required for transferring the address. In the next clock cycle, the memory reads the instruction from the location whose address it had received in the previous clock cycle. And in the third cycle, the instruction from the memory is transferred to the microprocessor. If the microprocessor waits for more than 2 clock cycles before it receives the instruction opcode, then these 2 extra cycles are known as wait cycle. The algorithm for execute operation is decode the instruction which is being fetched. If operand is in memory, then fetch the operand, execute the instruction. The time required for an execute cycle depends on the instruction type. If the instruction is 1 byte and the operands are in general purpose registers, then only decoding and execute operations are performed. If the instruction contains data or address of the data, then 1 or 2 extra memory fetch cycles are required to fetch the operand and even the operand address.